Have you ever noticed that when everything is filled, nothing really stands out? But when space is left empty, even the smallest detail begins to feel important. In Japan, this idea shapes the way space is seen and used, and it appears in many aspects of everyday life. Today, we explore how empty space helps us truly see. In architecture, empty space changes what we notice. The distance between things and the way light moves across a surface become more noticeable. A single opening can guide how light enters a room. As the light shifts throughout the day, the space changes with it. What once seemed empty begins to feel alive. In the work of architects like Tadao Ando, this becomes especially clear. His buildings are made of simple materials such as concrete, light and shadow, with very little decoration, and yet the space never feels empty. When there is almost nothing to focus on, your attention turns to smaller details. You notice the texture of the wall, the sound of your footsteps, and the way light touches the floor. What is not there begins to shape what is. The absence of objects allows smaller details to come forward. In Japanese aesthetics, this is often described as ma. It is not simply emptiness, but the space that gives meaning to what surrounds it. But this idea does not appear in only one way. In the work of Sana, it takes a different form. At the 21st Century Museum of Contemporary Art in Kanazawa, the building feels open and almost invisible. Glass walls soften the boundary between inside and outside. Instead of a single enclosed structure, smaller rooms are arranged within a larger open space with gaps in between. Some areas feel almost empty, like a quiet courtyard or an open zone between galleries. But these spaces are not nothing. They allow light to enter, give people a place to pause, and let each artwork stand on its own. Here, space is not something left over, it is what shapes the experience. The building does not demand attention, it is quietly present. You become more aware of your movement, the shifting light, and how the space opens and closes around you. In that experience, space becomes something you can feel. And this sensitivity also shapes how images are composed and how we see. In many Japanese paintings, space is not treated as something to be filled. Large areas are often left empty. At first, the image may seem incomplete, but the longer you look, the more intentional it becomes. The empty space is not separate from the image, it is part of it. It creates balance and gives weight to what is present, allowing each form to exist quietly. This can also be seen in more abstract work. In the paintings of Toko Shinoda, only a few brushstrokes appear on an open surface. The forms are simple, sometimes just ink and subtle tones, but the space around them is just as important as the marks themselves. It allows each stroke to breathe, creating a quiet sense of movement. What is left unpainted becomes part of the composition. This idea also appears in photography. In the work of Hiroshi Sugimoto, especially in his Seascapes series, the horizon between sea and sky becomes the focus. Using long exposure, the water and air dissolve into a soft, almost monochrome surface. At first, it may feel like nothing is happening, but the longer you look, the more you begin to notice the light, the stillness, and the slow passage of time. There is no distraction, no clear subject, and because of that, your attention begins to settle. Here, emptiness is not a lack of content, it is what makes seeing possible. In everyday design, this idea becomes more subtle. It is no longer only about images, but about the objects we use and encounter each day. In many Japanese designs, attention is given not only to the object itself, but also to the space around it. In packaging, layout, and even typography, room is intentionally left open. Instead of filling every surface, space is held back. This allows each element to stand more clearly and feel more deliberate. Design studios like Nendo, founded by Oki Sato, are often associated with this approach. Their work is minimal, with quiet colors and very little decoration. What stands out is not only the object, but the space around it. In 2016, Sato presented a retrospective titled "The Space in Between." The idea is simple. Design is not only about objects, but about the relationships between them. The space between elements, which often goes unnoticed, can become the most meaningful part of the design. When there is distance, each element becomes more distinct. The texture of a material, the proportion of a form, and the way it is placed within a space become easier to see. This approach can also be seen in Japanese graphic design. Text is not crowded, images are not overwhelming. Instead, space guides the eye and allows each element to exist clearly. In the work of Iko Tanaka, space is not simply a background. It becomes part of the image itself. His designs often combine bold shapes with flat areas of color, balanced by open space. Without that space, the composition would feel heavy. With it, even a simple form feels complete. For Tanaka, emptiness was not about having less. It was about creating space for the image to exist. What remains open is not wasted. It shapes how we look, guiding our attention so each element can be seen clearly and in relation to one another. These different ideas of empty space change the way we see. But this way of seeing does not belong to any one form. It reminds us that what once felt empty can begin to feel complete. And perhaps, without realizing it, you have already sensed it.